Prime Field.
What's good, hoop heads? Welcome back to the show where we don't just celebrate the wins, we dissect them. Right now, 6 teams in women's college basketball are sitting pretty with 0 losses in their record books. LSU, Texas, Maryland, TCU, Iowa State, and Vanderbilt. But here's the million-dollar question. Are all these undefeated records created equal? Spoiler alert, absolutely not. Today we're introducing the Unbeaten Vulnerability Index, and I'm about to tell you which of these perfect starts is a prelude to a Final Four run, and which is a house of cards waiting to collapse when conference play gets real. Let's break it down. Before we dive into these teams, you need to understand what we're looking at, because the AP rankings, they'll lie to you. Win-loss records, they'll deceive you. We're using 4 pillars to separate the contenders from the pretenders. First up, strength of a record versus strength of schedule. We're not asking who did you play, we're asking how hard would it be for any top 25 team to go undefeated against your schedule? Big difference. Second, the blowout threshold. Championship teams don't just beat mid-majors, they destroy them. Consistently winning by 20 plus against weaker opponents is a predictor of postseason success. Squeaking by? That's a red flag. Third, offensive efficiency. Forget raw points per game. We're talking points per possession and effective field goal percentage. A team scoring 90 points on terrible shooting because they took 100 shots? Vulnerable. A team scoring 80 on elite efficiency? That's sustainable. And fourth, heliocentricity. How dependent is your offense on one player? Because in March, when that player gets doubled or gets in foul trouble, what happens then? Now that you know the framework, let's expose who's really built for March Madness. Let's start with the most controversial take of this entire breakdown. LSU. Kim Mulkey's squad is 13-0, ranked number 5 in the nation, and averaging. Are you ready for this? 107.9 points per game. First in the entire country. Sounds unstoppable, right? Wrong. Here's what the casual fan doesn't see. LSU's strength of schedule is ranked 307th out of 363 Division I teams. Let me repeat that. 307th. They're feasting on Alabama State, Morgan State, Utah, Arlington. Teams that can't even transition back on defense fast enough to set up. LSU is generating 20 to 30 points per game, purely off live ball turnovers and uncontested layups against overmatched competition. This is what I call empty calories. Yeah, it looks impressive on the stat sheet, but does it travel against South Carolina's defense? Against Texas when they pack the paint? I'm skeptical. Now let's talk about their roster. The big 3 are legit. Flaujae Johnson, 15.5 points per game, shooting 53% from the floor and 51% from 3. She's a problem. Michaela Williams, 12.8 points, dropped 37 in an SEC game last season. She's got that takeover gene. And Anissa Morrow, the double-double machine on the glass. But here's the test that matters. Duke. When LSU played Duke in the ACC or SEC Challenge, they won 93-77. Good, right? But they also fell behind 17, 3 early and gave up 77 points. The defense got exposed by 6 Duke players in double figures. Here's my verdict. LSU is a high vulnerability team. They're a heavyweight boxer who's knocked out 12 amateurs in the first round. The power is real, but when SEC play starts and they have to execute half-court offense for 40 minutes, that 107 points per game is about to become 85, maybe. Now let's flip the script and talk about a team built the right way, the Texas Longhorns, 14-0, ranked number 2. And while everyone was worried about their transition from the Big 12 to the SEC, Vic Schaefer said worry about this, and pointed at a defense that allows just 52.3 points per game. 8th in the nation. Their scoring margin is plus 39.3. Now that's lower than LSU's plus 54.4, but here's why it's more impressive. Texas plays defense. Real, suffocating half-court defense with a 70.3 defensive rating. Let me introduce you to Madison Booker, the sophomore sensation, averaging 18.7 points, 7.4 rebounds, and 4.1 assists. She's shooting 52% from the floor as a point forward. She's not just scoring, she's orchestrating. 58 assists to only 30 turnovers, that's nearly 2-1. But here's what separates Texas. Depth. Jordan Lee, the freshman, is putting up 15 points per game. Rory Harmon is back, averaging 9.4 points and 7.8 assists with a ridiculous 5.7 assist-to-turnover ratio. That's 109 assists to just 19 turnovers. Can't press this team. In the front court, Kyla Oldacre shooting 64.8%, Justice Carlton at 49.1%. Here's my verdict. Texas is low vulnerability. Their defense travels. Even on bad shooting nights, that 52-point defensive average keeps them in games. This is a Final Four team, period. Let's talk about the team that's flying under the radar. Maryland, 13-0, ranked number 7. And analytics love them. They're shooting 49% from the field as a team, 35.6% from 3. Their scoring margin is plus 32. 7 against the 8th toughest schedule in the country. Let me say that again for the people in the back. Maryland has a top 10 strength of schedule and is still dominating by 33 points per game. Brenda Fries has this team moving the ball like the beautiful game down Spurs. They average 18.3 assists per game. They force 21.9 turnovers while only committing 16.3. They out-rebound opponents by 15.7 boards per game. This is sustainable basketball. This is winning basketball. But here's why I have them at moderate vulnerability. The Big Ten is a gauntlet of size. USC, UCLA, Ohio State, these teams have bigs that can slow Maryland down and pound them in the paint. Maryland relies on speed and collective rebounding. If they face South Carolina or Iowa State's Audi Crooks in March, can they hold up physically? That's the question. But make no mistake, Maryland is the most dangerous heat check team in America. When they get hot from three, they're unstoppable. Alright, now we're getting into wild territory. Iowa State 12-0, and their entire identity revolves around one player, Audi Crooks, Lady Shaq. Let me hit you with a stat that will blow your mind. Audi Crooks has averaged more points than minutes played in several stretches this season. She's averaging 28.9 points in just 25.3 minutes. That's 1.14 points per minute. For context, that exceeds Caitlin Clark. That exceeds Juju Watkins. This is unprecedented efficiency. And she's shooting, wait for it, 73.8% from the field. She's scored in double figures in 76 consecutive games, the longest active streak in the NCAA. So what's the problem? Why am I calling this high vulnerability? 2 words: heliocentric risk. Iowa State's offense orbits entirely around Audi Crooks. When she sits, the offense changes drastically. The drop-off from Crooks at 28.9 points to the next option, Addie Brown at 14.6, is massive. In the NCAA tournament, elite defensive teams like Texas or UConn will front the post, double from the weak side, and force Iowa State's guards to beat them. If Crooks gets neutralized, or gets in foul trouble, do the Cyclones have a plan B? Here's the other thing. Can she maintain 73% shooting through the entire Big 12 schedule? History says no. As scouting reports get better, defenses adjust. If she drops to human levels like 55 to 60%, Iowa State's offense takes a massive hit. My verdict, Iowa State is high vulnerability with a high floor. Audi Crooks guarantees them wins against 90% of teams, but against the top 10%. Teams with 6 and 5 inches centers and disciplined help defense, they're the most likely Sweet 16 upset candidate. Now let me tell you about a team that the metrics say is for real. TCU, 13-0, ranked number 9, and they might be the most underrated team in college basketball. The game changer? Olivia Miles from Notre Dame via the transfer portal. She's a generational passer, averaging 7.6 assists for her career. She's the only player in ACC history to rank elite in rebounds, assists, and points. She's a quarterback on the court. But here's what separates TCU. Their net rating. Offensive rating, 113.98. Defensive rating, 68.12. The delta is plus 45. 8, that's elite balance. They're not winning by luck, they're dominating on both ends of the floor. TCU went aggressive in the transfer portal to build a win-now roster. They're old, experienced, and unflappable. They were picked to defend their Big 12 title for a reason. My verdict, TCU is low vulnerability. They have the guard play, the experience, and the statistical profile of a Final Four team. Don't sleep on the Horned Frogs. And finally, we have Vanderbilt. 12-0, ranked at number 12. Best start since 1995 to 96. But here's the brutal truth. They're the most precarious of all the unbeaten teams. Their scoring margin is significantly lower than everyone else we've talked about. They're grinding out wins in close games against teams like Memphis and Wake Forest instead of blowing people out. Their strength of schedule, minus 1.28. That's weak. In analytics, when a team wins a bunch of close games, that's called variance or luck. And luck tends to regress. Now there is a real improvement, rebounding. Last year, Vanderbilt struggled on the glass. This year, 41.9 rebounds per game, a 16% increase year over year. Sasha Washington is averaging nearly a double-double, and Michaela Blakes is leading the team with 17.7 points. But here's the problem. Against elite offenses, Vanderbilt doesn't have the firepower to keep up. They're averaging around 80 points per game while LSU is dropping 107. They're winning with grit, which is admirable but statistically volatile. My verdict, Vanderbilt is extremely high vulnerability. They're a good team having a great start, but the talent gap between them and the top tier is significant. They're likely the first of this group to lose when SEC play intensifies. Alright, let's bring it all together. Here's how I'm ranking these undefeated teams by vulnerability. Tier 3, the Paper Tigers. Extremely high to high vulnerability. Number 6. Vanderbilt, thin margins, soft schedule. The first to fall. Number 5, LSU, empty calories. At 107 points per game, won't travel to SEC play. Tier 2, the system threats. High to moderate vulnerability. Number 4, Iowa State. Audi Crooks is undeniable, but one-dimensional. Heliocentric risk is real. Number 3, Maryland. Elite efficiency, tough schedule, but size matchups could be fatal. Tier 1, the true contenders, low vulnerability. Number 2, TCU, that plus 45, 8 net rating and Olivia Miles effect. The dark horse. Number 1, Texas. Defense travels, depth travels. Madison Booker and Rory Harmon are elite. This is your front runner. Here's the bottom line, hoop heads. Not all undefeated records are created equal. As we head into January, I'm predicting a divergence. Vanderbilt and LSU are going to face harsh reality checks when conference play gets physical. Meanwhile, Texas and TCU are built to carry those zeros deep into March. The lesson? Don't fall in love with the win column. Fall in love with the efficiency metrics that build it. The 13-0 of Texas is a fortress. The 13-0 of LSU is a fireworks display, impressive but fleeting. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these undefeated teams shocks everyone and makes the Final Four? Drop your pick in the comments below. And if you think I'm crazy for putting LSU at high vulnerability with that scoring average, tell me why. I read every single comment. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe for more women's hoops breakdowns, and turn on notifications so you never miss when we drop the next episode. Until next time, remember, the game respects the prepared. Stay locked in.
Prime Field.